So I just got back from Batman v Superman, and I can't believe what I've just seen. DC, Warner Brothers, somebody has to stop them. True fans, I can't handle this. I gotta stop them. I gotta kill them. Ah! No, you bastard! Die! No! Why? 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 Why?
I don't know, Joe.
Why?
I didn't make it. It's not my fault. I don't know.
Why? Why? Oh my god. Okay.
Deep breaths. Just calm yourself.
You done fucked it up, DC. And then you kind of didn't, but you did fuck that up. You know, it's difficult because I can't say what I want to say right here. Well, this is the non-spoiler review. So, in this particular one, you're not going to know why I'm so upset. So, you'll have to wait and watch the spoiler-filled one to understand why I'm so fucking pissed off right now. I'm so mixed. The emotions are going 100 miles an hour, guys. Like, this movie...
It's a mountain.
It has made me think. Everything has fucking changed. Alfred says that at one point in the movie. Alfred him says, everything has changed, and this movie changes everything. Now, whether you think that's a good idea or a bad idea, too soon, too late, too early, this is what we're going to be discussing. But for this section, this is just our impressions on whether this film is a good film or if it's a bad film or if you should go and see it. So let's talk about that. So, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, get it?
There's like two sides of me. There's like the little boy, the fan, the Superman all my life, and then there's the critic, the film goer, the person who's what is it? But this doesn't make any sense. And the film goer who's seen the Marvel movies and how they're done, and who's seen other superhero movies, and who has an idea of what DC is trying to do, and to see them try to execute it, and to get this is so okay. So I'm gonna break it down like this. It's mixed.
Yeah.
Fucking hella mixed. I fucking hate this movie. I fucking love this movie. Okay? And how am I gonna put it? The action. You ain't never seen action like this before in a DC superhero film.
That is true.
The visual effects are fucking awesome.
They are pretty good.
The cinematography is fantastic.
That is true.
If you're going to the movie to see a throwdown fight with between Batman and Superman, you're gonna get that here, and you're gonna get so much more fight stuff. And I'm excited. I'm so happy they did the fighting well, because obviously you've seen in the trailers, you've seen Superman, you've seen Batman, you've seen the Trinity stand together. When they stood together and that music started playing, I got chills, man. I was like, that's a fucking Trinity. That's my statues over there. My top three favorite superheroes of all time. And the fourth is, in case you want to know, Spider-Man and then Deadpool. But anyway, so my top three right there. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And so the fan in me saw all the callbacks to the comics, the similarities. Basically, the battle was heavily inspired from The Dark Knight Returns. Lots of little hints dropped here and there. There were fucking trailers for each superhero movie dropped into this movie. It was weird. It was like out of place, but it was there. And Aquaman's one was kind of fucked up, but it was fantastic visual effects side of things. But I think what happened is because Zack had to introduce a new Batman and sort of retell the Batman story, even though we know the story 1,000 times. That took up a lot of space, and it took away from the stronger story, which I felt was the population of Earth now dealing with the Superman, and there was that in here. Okay, you got congressional hearings, you've got pro-Superman and anti-Superman sentiments growing, and Lex Luthor trying to prey on people's fear of that, which really didn't happen. That was not Lex Luthor's motivation really in this film, and that's a huge dropped opportunity. The first film set up destruction of the city. Lex Luthor should have taken this, and he's not Lex, by the way. Joe pointed this out, and he caught this. It's not Lex. Who is it?
Was it?
It's Alexander.
Alex.
Yep, it's Alexander. He's the son of Lex Luthor, so that could be a little bit of an excuse for this particular Lex. Which, Joe, how do you feel?
I don't like him at all.
I don't like him at all.
It was
terrible.
So poorly
terrible.
done and
This is the fucking Joker.
Yes, his mannerisms. He's like
playing the Joker. He's
even has like insanity.
He's playing the Joker.
That speech during the whole
there's a scene. There's a scene where
I felt awkward for him.
That you're supposed to, but This is not.
That's not Lex.
No.
It's not Lex.
Okay. Well, I know it's not Lex, and so that's the excuse. Some defenders of the film are already screaming in the comments, it's not Lex, it's Alexander, his son. So, yes, he has to be different. But what we're saying is we would have preferred the traditional Lex Luthor, and we don't have to be, like, rehashing the realtor Lex Luthor that we've seen before, but just, a Bryan Cranston type of Lex Luthor would have been amazing. But the Lex Luthor that we got here, so let's say he's different. That's fine. But his motivations are completely unclear.
Nope.
His mannerisms is of Joker, and we've seen this before. He feels out of place, and the worst part, I love Jesse as an actor, okay? I really do like his work. However, in this film, and in many of his other films, frankly, Jesse is playing Jesse. Yeah. He's not playing Alexander Luthor. He is playing himself. Yeah. Like the character version of, No. What was I? No. Oh, that's a tight grip you have there. So I did. Luthor is easily one of the worst parts of the film. While he does have his moments, there's some clever moments in this film that we can talk about in the spoilers. But as the main villain of the film, it hurts. And Batman's retelling hurts. Once we get into Batman action, though, that's when the movie completely flips around. And, okay, the opening sequence, holy shit, that explains where the fuck was Batman. That's what I was saying. Where the fuck was Batman in Man of Steel? It shows you where the fuck Batman was. And it was one of the most, like, my heart was just pounding through my chest. It was like, he's driving in the streets of fucking, Metropolis, and there are jets slamming into the ground, there are people running, and he's over there trying to help his employees and shit, and that scene was fucking intense, and it was a great shot, great cinematography there, great way to start the film and really set up Bruce Wayne and why he has animosity towards this godlike figure that's causing all this destruction and almost nearly killed a little kid and did kill a lot of his employees. So the opening act of the act one of this film, super strong. You guys agree?
Yeah, it was. Okay.
And I think that, I wish I would have seen way more development of Clark and this. The thing is, the movie is 2 hours and 30 minutes. And there was so much here that it was difficult to build character, to have characterization. And I think this is what the film suffered from the most. You weren't as emotionally invested as you should have been. Though on second viewing, I can tell where you were supposed to be. When the first time I watched this film, everything was blowing by super fast. Yeah. The pacing was really so fast. There were scenes that almost seemed disjointed and out of place. You go from one location, you're in another location. I'm telling you right now, guys, there are huge chunks of this film that are gone. That are at the cutting room floor that we're probably going to get in that R-rated version. So, as I said, the pacing is off. It's way too fast. There's not a lot of characterization going on here, and strong script writing. Though there are some good lines in there, but the action is amazing. I think the way I describe it is that this movie is all orgasm, all ejaculation, and no fucking foreplay. There's zero foreplay here.
That's a good way to put it.
It also, I exploded about it earlier when I was talking about people about this thing. And it's one of those things where, Marvel goes, they establish characters, they have lots of foreplay, they have the same actors in the same movies and the same goddamn storyline, all interconnected. And this, I find it so hard to be invested and care because they just go out and they throw it in your face and, they just remake a remake, and it's just constantly remaking the previous characters' storylines and stuff. And they don't give you enough time to care about the actors or the people involved or the superheroes.
Right.
And it's just too fast. Too fast.
Yeah. So Batman maybe gets 30 minutes to set his shit up. Superman gets another 30 minutes of mini Man of Steel 2. And then you've got 30 minutes of action. And then you've got 30 minutes to set up the whole Lex and how he's doing his thing and this and that. And by the end, you didn't invest it. Now, I will say this. And I have a lot of praise for the film and a lot of criticism. This is a type of film that is going to get completely destroyed on the internet. So that's why I know why the critics have scored it 31% and why haters of the DC universe from Marvel are probably going to tear the fuck out of this movie because there are so many weak plot points, just these little contrivances and holes that we're going to talk about in the spoilers, and they need to be talked about. Can't wait to talk about them. That weaken the film. And that hurts a bit. So, but my main problem with this is that we've gone even darker here. We've gone. This is 3 times darker than Man of Steel.
Yes.
This movie will mortify you if you felt Man of Steel crossed a line at any point, or Superman wouldn't do that, or this is too dark, and where's the comedy? Where's this? If that's you are going to be mortified at the film. Now, that's not necessarily me because I can, and the thing that I did for Man of Steel is I said, you know what? This is an Elseworld story. Yeah. And so if you go in this film looking at it like that, Elseworld story, it's going to be better for you. You're going to understand some of these things. You're going to accept them a little bit better. But it doesn't make it a better film. It just justifies it a tiny bit in my eyes on the lore side, because this takes the characters and changes the characters fundamentally for Batman. I'm not so much Superman. Superman's still doing his thing. It changes Lex fundamentally. Yeah. Completely different. Wonder Woman honestly doesn't have enough lines or anything. She has one of the most badass scenes in the film, which was awesome. Yeah. The audience went crazy when she showed up. Okay, so those are our opinions on that we can get into right now without spoiling the film. Let's talk about the acting and how people did in their respective roles. You want to go first and choose somebody?
Batman was good. I like this twist on Batman.
Without
for sure.
No, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck was a good Batman.
How do you feel about Bruce Wayne?
I feel like he was a good Bruce Wayne
and good Batman.
Okay,
I 100% agree. I think that this Batman is fucking badass.
That's a good Batman.
I will eat my words. I'm eating my words. I have my crow. That. Bring me my crow. Yes. I will eat my words.
I was about to say, it's like, remember that time we made that film?
Okay.
I was like, hey.
Okay.
Maybe.
But you know what? That was reactionary. And that was when I first started doing reactions and things. Yeah. And that was my honest first reaction. Uh-huh. But after I filmed it and people talked to me about it, and months went on, I realized how much of a fan Ben Affleck is, and how much he knows about
these two.
Yeah.
Huge...
Oh, and he bulked up the right way. He looks fucking awesome. I mean, this is who you believe. This is the man that you want to go up against the god if you're going to go into this gladiatorial battle. This Batman scared the shit out of me.
It was a good scare.
No other Batmans have scared the shit out of me the way Ben Affleck has. No, not just, yeah, in a different way. He scared the shit out of me.
What is this? His
With his bat nipples in my face. That scared me. But no, this Batman, and we can't talk too much because we're going to go into the spoilers because his character is fundamentally changed. Delrith has come up with an incredibly clever explanation for it. I'm disagreeing with him, but you'll have to choose sides. So anyways.
Wait.
Yes.
$1 billion question.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, so the other person that I hated
Movie.
on, the other miscast choice that I thought was miscast, before we get to Wonder Woman, you're trying to blow the load early, just like this film did.
We're talking about casting.
Okay, well, you know what? I ate my words on Ben, but I will say that I was right about Lex. Okay, that I didn't think Lex was good, and Lex was not good. I mean, Jesse as Lex. Yeah. It would have been much. I was campaigning for Bryan Cranston. Would have been the perfect Lex Luthor if they went a different direction with it. And honestly, they didn't even have to go a different direction. They needed to play up the destruction of the city and turning the hearts and minds of the people against Superman a little bit better, and that would have been Bryan Cranston. So I was right about that. So 1-1. Now it is on Wonder Woman. So, as you know, I feel that Gal Gadot wasn't right for the Wonder Woman role, but, you know, those were my previous impressions. Now that I've seen the entire film, how do I feel about her for performance? I thought that she did well. I thought that she did the action well. The role that they created for her, the script, the opportunities that they gave her, they treated her with respect. She wasn't a stupid fucking love triangle, so I'm happy about that.
Thank God.
Yes, she was clever. She outsmarts Batman at a certain point in this film. She makes him look stupid, which is always fun. Yeah. And she has some of the most badass fight scenes. She's on par with Superman, though I can't quite tell how powerful she is compared to Superman because she likes to use her shield a lot. She likes to use her bracelets. And I want to tell you, DC got her fucking bracelets right. They got her fucking shield right. They got the lasso was the thing that I was most scared about in this film. And it is used perfectly here. So DC and their treatment of Wonder Woman, thumbs up. Okay? But it was very limited, very small. So it's very easy not to screw it up. However, you were talking to me about Gal Gadot and her performance. Now, I will say I felt her performance was a little weak, and I'll give you two things that bothered me. But I think overall she did well. I'm ready for her as Wonder Woman. I want to see her in her own movie. Okay, I'm not passing judgment. I'm not saying she's a shitty Wonder Woman like I thought she would be. She's not the Wonder Woman that I think we deserved. We'll find out on the Wonder Woman movie.
I don't.
But
I think she's a good actor. She nailed her part the way that she needed to.
Telegraph. She was doing way too much telegraphing. You can tell.
I know, but I mean, she did her parts as well as she could have. I still don't like the tiny Wonder Woman.
Okay,
I dislike.
You're about
so
to get.
much.
You just got my video downvoted a bajillion because apparently it's not politically correct anymore to talk about how you perceive Wonder Woman's body style, physique. Right. Well, you know what? Fuck that because she's not in. And I'm not talking about her body. What I'm doing is I'm talking about. And some people argue Wonder Woman has been drawn skinny and athletic. Wonder Woman has been drawn bigger and curvy. Wonder Woman has been drawn incredibly muscular.
Height.
Oh, she's tall. She's tall.
Supposed to be really freaking tall.
No, I disagree with you on that. It's not her height. In my opinion, it's the lack of intimidation factor. I don't look at her and I'm not scared of her. No. And that's the major problem. I look at Batman, I'm like, I am fucking scared of Batman.
Damn.
The character, his characterization in this movie, and the fact that he's fucking built like a gorilla, and the voice scares the fuck out of me. Wonder Woman is not intimidating, and I've seen pictures of the Wonder Woman where she's dressed in the Wonder Woman movie, still not intimidating. When in the comics, Wonder Woman is even more intimidating than Batman. Yeah. She will stare down Batman, and Batman will like blink. I'm not fucking joking. Anyways, so Gal Gadot, the two different things. The accent, that's what I was worried about the biggest. She did a little better job than I thought she would, but you can see when she starts to talk at length, it's really, really thick. And I think they're just going to excuse it on the fact that she's Greek, but that didn't, or she's an Amazonian, but that doesn't sound like an Amazonian accent. Well, what is an Amazonian? Okay, whatever. Anyway, moving on from Wonder Woman. those were the three characters. I thought Jeremy Irons did an incredibly cool job and great job as Alfred. This Alfred is so multifaceted.
Yeah.
In our classic Alfred in Tim Burton's film was a butler, and he was the emotional anchor for him. But this Alfred is he's a butler. He's a mechanic. He builds the armor. I mean, he's almost like Tony Stark. He builds the fucking armor. And he's used as the comedy relief in this film. He says something, and then he says something under his breath. Yeah. You know, and he did that like 5 times, and I'm like, man, this movie. You could tell this is not a Marvel movie where there's plenty of jokes because all the jokes are on this guy's shoulders. Yeah. There's one other with Superman's mom, but this was Jeremy Irons. So Jeremy did a great job. I'm looking forward to a new Alfred. Jeremy, I think he's a great Alfred. Who else? What else with the film? So finally, let's sort of wrap this up because we got a lot to talk about in the spoiler section. Doomsday, Joe.
I still did not like Doomsday. He still looked like an ogre from Lord of the Rings.
And then what do you feel about his second form?
The second form is still like he looked like Ninja Turtle Slash.
There you go.
Slash.
So you hated his design.
I did not like him.
I agree with Joe. Let's talk about just his design first. If you're gonna do Doomsday, like you've seen my trailer. When I saw the Doomsdays in this film. And it's way too early for that. And it's way too early for other things in this film as well.
So early.
Okay, so in DC, you could tell it's almost pathetic. It's almost sad to see this.
So hard
They're
to be Marvel.
trying so hard.
Really hard.
And not to be Marvel, to catch up with Marvel. Don't say that again because you're wrong on that because they're doing dark, Marvel's doing light. And Marvel's doing closer. Here's another thing. Marvel's doing closer to comics and saying, fuck it. If you don't like it, then you don't like the comics and you don't like this movie. And DC is like, I'm Hollywood. Let's put a little spin on this. His moral compass is this. Well, fuck that and let's do this, I don't like that. Oh, and Doomsday looks like this in the comics. Well, fuck that. Let's make these shorter because that's edgy. Whatever. No, fuck that. Anyway, so Doomsday, his design sucks, and as a character, I didn't understand. That's spoiler stuff.
You can't really say anything.
So the threat, he was a threat. Okay, and that was the reason why they chose him, because he was this higher level threat. Yeah. He's basically Zod on steroids and unkillable. Okay, and every time it appears, they almost made him Incredible Hulk. Every time you shoot him with something, he absorbs it a little bit. He glows, and then he fires back, and he gets stronger and bigger. Second form. In that sense, I was like, all right, that's the threat. They needed a threat in order to bring Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman together. Yeah. And now that I go back and look at it, if Lex had armored up in this big suit of armor, would you guys would it have been as good as Doomsday? And as I just said that, yes, it would have. If they did it right.
Lex, big, muscly, bald Lex that was actually calculating
that's
and
exactly
evil.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, and he had shit in his suit for everybody. So kryptonite for Superman.
Crazy and manic and stupid, weak, thin, skinny, not intimidating Lex. What the fuck? I don't like that.
Tech baby Lex or Facebook Zach. What's the Zuckerberg Lex?
Like a Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg Lex.
Yeah.
So I don't hate Doomsday. I thought that they needed to use him for the story and the conclusion that they have in this film. They needed to use him. And I think it's way too early to introduce Doomsday. I think they wasted an incredible opportunity, an incredible storyline. Yeah. Let's not give away too much.
Film.
Yeah, and so there were a lot of good things and there were a lot of bad things. A very mixed reaction. But ultimately, the fan in me takes over and says, I finally got to live my dream, to see this shit on the big screen, to see these characters come together, and the possibilities are exciting me. Not necessarily this film, but the possibilities for the future. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to jump into the final verdict because we need to talk spoilers.
Yes, we do.
Final verdict. We're going with OtherJoe first.
And like I said before, I'm going with the 7.
A 7.
A 7 out of 10.
And I looked at Joe, and when we got done with the film, right after the ending, obviously me and Joe are looking at each other. We're upset, and not just for what's in the film, but the final conclusion here and the whole thing actually. And Joe, you told me that you'd give it a 6 if you weren't a fan, And so hold on, I'm going to jump to Del first. What do you think?
So the action was great, cinematography was great, and everything like that, and really strong holding it up. From like a technical and critic standpoint, I thought there were so many horrible, glaring issues. But given the fact that if you look at it as I'll be honest, I don't have strong feelings one way or another towards DC. So I can look at it as a technical thing, as a character thing. Mm-hmm. It's a 7 as an action movie, as a fight movie, as a beat the crap. If I was a super strong DC fan and I was looking at loopholes, plot holes, and stuff, in that regard,
that could bring the score down.
It would bring it down. If I cared as much as you do about the movie, I'd probably give it like a 6 or a 5. Yeah. Because
it's a 5.
It's very mediocre how they did that.
Yeah. So guys, I am at a loss. We record these things immediately after seeing it, and I am so mixed. It's very difficult for me to make this rating because first off, I can say this. I want you to go out and see the film. Because it's not a bad film. No, it's not a garbage. It's not a what the fuck. My ratings on the video games, it's not any of that, okay? There are what the fuck moments. Yeah, it's not Gods of Egypt, all right? There are what the fuck moments in there that I want your opinion on. This is a brave new world. I'm telling you, everything changes in the DC universe after this film. And there's just, this is, okay. So I need you to go out and see this film, and I want you to see it. But... in good conscience, okay, so there's the critic and there's the fan. The fan, okay, so let me do that. Thank you for it.
It really matters.
As a fan, 7 out of 10. That's as high as this thing gets. Okay. I can't give it any higher than 7 as a 10, even as a fan. But as a critic, I'm right now, first impressions, getting home, I'm at a 6 out of 10. If you didn't know about these characters, if you're a Marvel fan and you're like, okay, I want to try this DC thing, let's see what they can do. This movie's not going to convince you. The characters are set up so much better in Marvel movies, and they're closer to their comic counterparts, so nostalgia plays a factor there. These are completely new characters in this DC universe. Yeah. They're dark as fuck. They take some of the joy out of being a superhero, and their morality is completely changed in this film, and it deals with complex issues, and they're trying to real life this shit is what they're doing, when it needs to be this more pseudo thing, I think, and this symbol. They don't resolve fucking Superman's storyline from the previous movie that they set up. His story is not resolved.
They just basically were like, whoop.
And Batman, although Batman is the most badass Batman I've ever fucking seen in my life, and I cannot wait to watch those action scenes where he beats the shit out of people in the most brutal way I've ever seen on film. I need to see those. That was fucking brutal. I love it. But he's changed. This Lex was weaker, and the fact that you use Doomsday right now all pissed me off. So that 6 probably. And when we talk about the spoilers, I may have it come down to a 5. But for right now, 6. 6.
Coming down. 6. That's your final.
6. Fan in me. Fan 7. 7 out of 10. Go and see the film. Okay. I want to talk about it with you. I want you to tell me why I'm wrong. Why it is a 10 out of 10.
It's not. No.
That's going to be very tough.
Why it is the worst film you've ever seen. You tried to make it. I've seen people on the internet say, this is like the worst fucking film ever. The biggest. No, it is not. But I understand how upset you might be. And that's why we're going to talk in spoilers. So let's do this. Okay, so that was the end of the review, and I know there's not a lot of detail there, but we're kind of saving it because a lot of that stuff is intertwined. The soundtrack was great because, it combined a lot of the Man of Steel music with a little bit of new music. Wonder Woman's thing is, is fucking awesome. I think that's
like
Wonder
that
Woman's
one.
theme. So the music was great, the action was great, the sounds were great, the cinematography is great, but it's the characterization and the plot points and the weak
connections.
that brought the film down. But it's mixed, it's not bad, go out and see it. That is our review. Stick around for the spoilers section. Watch that video right now, click the link because this is awesome.